right, thanks, y'all. Now, first things first, we're going to have a good time this evening, but it's going to be helped along. There are all these empty seats, and we're going to need your energy, and we're going to need you to sing along a little bit. So if you're sitting way back there, I see you back there. Come on. Come on this way. You're not glued to those seats. Come on up here. So let me tell you what's about to happen. I see you not paying any attention to me. I see you not paying any attention. All right. You're going to want to be up here. You're going to regret this in just a minute. So what's about to happen is that I've written this little book about our work in the west side neighborhood of Charlotte called Enderley Park, right near the airport. If you've ever flown through there, you've flown right above our corner. Enderley Park is comprised of some really amazing people who have turned my life around. And I happen to get to work with some other really remarkable musicians here around Charlotte and across the city, across the state of North Carolina, and in Greenville, like with Shannon Hoover, who lives right here in Greenville, playing the bass back there. And so I've written some stories about that work, and we've set it to music, and we're going to present some of that to you tonight. I'm going to read a little bit from the book. We're going to sing. And at the center of all of this are a group of folks that I've come to think of as the saints of my life, those folks who have really set the course of how I've come to think of Christian faith in the world. And they're up here at the front. They're in these little lanterns, and I would invite you during the break later to come and take a look closely. Helms has created this amazing art. And so they're welcoming us into this space right now, and they travel with me, at least in spirit, wherever I go. So we're going to invite them in by singing together When the Saints Go Marching In.
Start talking about the saints marching, and as he mentioned before, if some of you are in the back and you think you want to march forward and fill some of these seats, you're more than welcome to do so. I know we're at one press, but it's okay. Come on. Oh, when the saints go marching in. Oh, when the saints go marching in. Because already you're sitting in choir fashion right now, all right? So let's see what you got. All right. Oh, when the saints go marching in. Oh, when the saints go marching in. Oh, I want to be in that number. When the saints go marching in.
So I want to give you a little taste of what life in Italy Park has been like. So here in Italy Park, just 2 miles from the central square of Charlotte, it often seems like a riff that is just a little bit, not enough, is about all most people have. The money always runs out before the month does. Improvising on just the barest amount of resources is a standard life skill. And one place to watch this skill come alive is in the kitchen. Freddie and Michelle are masters of it. I've walked into their house many times to see that the fridge is mostly empty. There are a few cans stored on the cabinet shelves which lack doors thanks to a lazy landlord. Their need is visible to all, but this does not stop them from offering an invitation to supper, nor does it stop the meal at their house from becoming a bounty of delight. Now, Freddie and Michelle like to entertain when they can. They throw big holiday parties, and every child within 3 blocks joins the fun. At holidays, lots of extended family come for big cookouts, and every once in a while, they wind up needing to throw a rent party. Now, not all y'all may not know what a rent party is, so let me hip you real quick. A rent party is when you don't have enough to pay the rent when it's coming due at the first of the next month. So you throw a big party, you charge some money to get in, and hopefully you pass the hat if you need to, and by the end of the night you hope that you got enough to get the rent paid. That's a rent party, all right? Now, these parties are the most entertaining. They feature a sound system and neighbor trying to DJ, and the adult beverages flow, and the rules of decorum that are required of a child's birthday party get suspended. Truth be told, for Freddie, they're most always suspended, and things sometimes get a little rowdy. Now, Freddie's dream is to be a comic and a comedy promoter. It's more than a little late for him to get started on that career, but the rent party gives him a chance to try his act out. He features himself and whoever else he can coerce or cajole into trying out an amateur comedy set. These are excruciating to sit through. The difference between being humorous in real life and being humorous behind a microphone is profound. I did not realize how different these things were until Freddie asked me to be one of his headliners. I took this as quite an honor. This was quite an honor to have such a gift bestowed on me. But I only had a couple days notice, so I did my best to quickly get some material together to practice a little set. And by the time the moment arrived, my stomach was in knots, my hands were trembling. I've played music in front of thousands of people. I've preached in front of some intimidating crowds. I don't get nervous anymore, but this backyard assembly of just a couple dozen folks had my knees trembling. And here's what happened. I bombed. Not a single laugh. These folks wanted to laugh. They loved me, so they wanted me to do well. And they were tipsy on top of that. If you can't make drunk people laugh, you're just not funny. But the rent party was a huge success. The food was amazing. I have no idea where it all came from, nor how there was enough. Freddie and Michelle cooked it. I know because I saw them do it. I helped carry it from the kitchen to the picnic table. The fried chicken wings were their own business plan. The potato salad competed with my mother's, which is not a compliment that a southern boy easily hands out. There were plenty of cold drinks to keep the party rollicking until the wee hours, and a hat got passed a few times, and enough came in for the rent to get paid. So everybody got full, everybody had a good time, but also everyone knew why we were there. It was not for a comedy show. The abundance on display at the party was not food and drink, but it was determination and prayer and the hard-won knowledge of how to make something out of nothing. Just barely getting by, always living in scarcity is not the same thing as flourishing. But at least for this night, you could say, along Tuckasegee Road, we were thriving from a riff. So we're going to play an old bebop tune for you that's called Thriving from a Riff.
Thank you.